Huh. So evidently this camera only does it 10 minutes at a time. Whoop. It's good for a bathroom break. Okay. Anyway, back to the 2010. I don't get the promotion. Um, James Rayner tells me, oh, well, we decided to give it to the retired fireman. I'm good with that. Whatever. I told James Rayner, I said, that's okay. I only applied for the job to see if you'd give me an interview. You've been overlooking me for 11 years. And, you've been discriminating against me. And his mouth just dropped open. And I told him, it's okay. That wasn't a question. You don't have to say anything. I think I lit a fire when I did that because the retaliation and the bullying got more and more over the years. And I used to just watch and wonder, And the thing is sometimes people would be like, why don't you go find a job someplace else? And I'd be like, well, I did that back in 1995 and it didn't make things any better. When I left Parking and Transit, I left because Bill Kirkendall yelled at me, your hair's too long, too red, and too curly to be professional. If I could make you cut your fucking hair, I would. And I just was blown away. And he told me the only reason I liked to wear shorts was to show off my knees. And he was just awful. And I didn't understand why. And now I do. Now that it's 2020 and I'm looking at this employment law stuff and I see that, the cartoon called me a parking Nazi and that's just a little bit discriminatory. And everybody on campus was having me autograph it. And that day, all those battalions mysteriously disappeared all over campus. And then about 4 months later, there was another cartoon that says he wasn't allowed to do any more cartoons about me. And and back in 95, I left the Parking and Transit job because it was apparent to me that they were going to fire me first chance they got, right? And so A&M being the place to work where I lived, I applied for an apprenticeship job. Matter of fact, I asked God, give me a sign if I'm supposed to leave this job that I'm good at, that I enjoy doing. Give me a sign if I should change jobs. Honest to Pete, within a half hour, a Corps cadet almost ran me over. He lost control of his car, and the rear end of it swung towards me in the patrol car, and I got really tall. And I still have the letter from the commandant and the apology letter from that cadet. I went and applied for the apprenticeship that day. I interviewed with a conference room table full of people. They said, what makes you think you can do this job? I said, I've worked for Parking and Transit. I can work for anybody. And they laughed. Anyway, they said to put the trades in order of what I want and interested in. And honestly, I looked at the trades and the only thing that I could tell I knew what it was carpentry and plumbing. I did not know drills had reverse when I took that job, but I didn't have to. So whatever. I understand, I was told by certain people that I was in the top 10 of 149 applicants. So evidently they were afraid not to hire me. Well, so I resigned from the Parking and Transit job before they can fire me, right? And then right as I go to start the physical plant job at Texas A&M University, they say, oh, by the way, it's going to be a pay cut. Now, I'm already making $20 too much a month for food stamps, and they know I'm a single parent. Do you think they gave me a pay cut so that I wouldn't accept the job? Ugh, hindsight is 2020. I'm telling you. So anyway, I'm like, that doesn't make sense. I thought when you change jobs, you got a percentage raise. Oh, no, this is different because we're going to be training you, But the pay cut job says I don't have any extra activities, or I'm not just calls me kind of subpar, average. And I'm thinking, I got more talent in my little finger than most of you people, but whatever. As far as drawing goes, anyhow, everybody's talented. Anyhow, so I went on ahead and accepted the job at a pay cut, and I continued to get bullied. And I just was, at this rate, of course I'm taking it personal. Of course I think it's me. Because everywhere I go, I left a marriage that was daggum mean and got a job that was mean. The customers were mean. The management was mean. I switched jobs. These people are mean. Everybody's mean. So of course I'm thinking it's me. Because everybody's aiming at me. And I'm like, I'm just sitting here minding my manners, trying to do whatever it is, and y'all are just being mean. I don't know. So anyway, I kept being nice, and they kept being mean. And then the men that I worked with complained to the superintendent about Bill Courtney and how he was treating me. Now, did you get all that? I was working for Parking and Transit. They yell at me because my hair's red. I almost get run over by a cadet. I apply for a different job. They give me a pay cut. I take the pay cut. I do the carpenter apprenticeship job. He bullies me, yells at me, gives me crappy jobs to do, tells me he's going to make me quit. I better be looking for a new job, and then writes me up for being female. It didn't occur to me till all this employment law stuff, being pro se in federal court, that, hey, wait a minute, I've been yelled at 3 different times for each job at A&M. And Human Resources interviewed people in 2015, and those statements are lies that are in those documents. But the day that they say they investigated is the day before that they retaliated against me, those people. Go figure. Do you think each one of those daggum supervisors were doing what they thought their job was? You know, since A&M thinks it has sovereign immunity, it doesn't have to follow its own policies, right? It doesn't even have to follow OSHA. I mean, holy cow, the kids that got killed in Bonfire were more than 3 foot off the ground, and OSHA would have required them to be in a safety harness, and they weren't wearing one. And the damn bonfire fell the year before it fell on them the next year. And the crazy thing about that is I Googled the documents on that, and they had to appeal the first court's decision. So tell me where justice is. Is it like snipe? I don't know. And I don't mean to be disrespectful, but I'm not happy. So, you know, I'm fee waiver approved. It's a complicated case. I can certainly explain what happened. I have the documents. I sent you the audio. I sent you the documentation. They suspended my vacation. James Rayner refused to work with me for years. They restructured the department to try and make it look like I didn't work for him. Swati Kale yelled at me for an hour and a half. They're saying it's me. They listened to the audio of that daggum thing. They didn't tell me it was being recorded. You know, they were witnessing every meeting, and even the witness statements are lies. And they create anonymous complaints to back up their lies. And then they put in there that they listened to the audio before they fired me. And then 4 people come into my office to fire me after they sent the office home early to vacate the building. This whole thing stinks. And, you know, okay, whatever, justice system, let's just see. Does anybody have civil rights? Does the government just get to treat people? I mean, people just treat people the way they treat people, huh? Because the government's just people, right? A&M's got enough money to change the light bulbs. A&M has enough money to follow OSHA. A&M has enough money to follow code. Do they? I don't know. Go check. Everybody thinks they do because they advertise it that way. The younger male, I was assigned buildings that were demolished in 2012, and the younger male that A&M advertised as the contact for a burn permit, when I'm the one that had the certifications, he signed off on inspecting those 2012 demolished buildings December 13th, 2013. I was assigned to do them in 2014. I go there, she says, those buildings have been gone. I turn all this into the state fire marshal. They send the younger female they hired instead of me to campus to inspect on my notes, and she didn't put any building numbers on the report. And page 2 starts with insert building name here. I'm just like, integrity. Anybody got any? I get it. You don't want to set a precedent and actually give me an attorney, you know, to like, oh, I don't know, have some civil rights against a government, state, whoever it is. And there's no pre-existing whatever case law on it being co-employer, but it ought to be. And I'm running out of time, so click. I got like 20 seconds. Okay, so anyway, quick and nice to meet you, and I guess I'll cut this off now unless I do a different one. Help. Yeah, I know.